class, take a seat. It's time to soar. Where rivers of success meet, let's unlock the door. Blueprints laid down, we're creating something grand. In Eden they started, now it's our turn to stand. Four rivers flow, a vision crystal clear. With faith in our hearts, we've got no fear. Success streams flowing, lifting us high. With the master's guidance, we're touching the sky. Building our dreams with a powerful team. In this business life, we're living the dream. The 4-year plan, we're rejecting that slow grind. 40 years wasted, leave that behind. Unless the Lord builds, it's all in vain. Divine designs, we're breaking the chains. Biblical blueprints, success is blessed. Let's rise up together, we'll never rest. Success streams flowing, lifting us high. With the master's guidance, we're touching the sky. Building our dreams with a powerful team. In this business life, we're living the dream. So here's to the journey, we're set to take flight. With faith as our armor, we're ready to fight. Welcome to the masterclass. Take a seat, it's time to soar. Where rivers of success meet, let's unlock the door. Blueprints laid down, we're creating something grand. In Eden they started, now it's our turn to stand. 4 rivers flow, a vision crystal clear. With faith in our hearts, we've got no fear. Success streams flowing, lifting us high. With the master's guidance.
Welcome, Kingdom family. Welcome to another Kingdom Conversation with me, your host, Bishop Wayne Malcolm, the Business Bishop. Always excited and delighted to be a part of your life and legacy. I am celebrating each and every one of you that's joining us live. And those that are catching the replays, I salute you. And I salute you because if you are catching the replays, it's probably because you have subscribed to our channel. And if you have not yet subscribed, I do encourage you to go ahead and subscribe because we are posting new, fresh, empowering content on a weekly basis and are planning to ramp it up. So if you subscribe and click the bell for notifications, YouTube will let you know whenever we are posting or streaming live. I also want to thank those of you who like the post and leave a comment, and of course those of you that share it. So of course my big encouragement right at the beginning of today's session is that you go right ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and share so we can grow this kingdom family and grow this kingdom conversation. It really is epic and eye-opening and elevating and paradigm shifting. And I want to thank those of you that have subscribed and that are part of this growing family. Well, this is a very special month in my life, and I have dedicated this month to taking our audience behind the scenes and bringing you into some of the private webinar sessions that we've hosted on the Zoom platform. So periodically, we'll host a very private and detailed webinar training on the Zoom platform. And these are typically not seen by our YouTube audience, but this particular month, I want to draw you in and I want to give you a glimpse of what it's like being in an elite training session with the Business Bishop. So today is no exception because I'm going to give to you another installment in our series entitled How to Start a Movement. So we're going to be looking at the birth of a movement. And it is my deep conviction that your message is meant to spearhead a movement. Someone said, well, my message? Do I have a message? Listen, you are a message. And you are here as part of God's plan for the redemption of the marketplace, for the redemption of the planet, of your city, of your territory, of your region. Yes, God has purpose and plan for you. So I want you to fasten your seatbelts. We're going to dive into today's session. And at the end of the session, I have some really important announcements for you. So don't miss it for anything in the world. All right, let's dive in on the birth of your movement. And our subject matter is from revelation to revolution. From revelation to revolution. And the modern world, the world in which we live, has been shaped, has been determined by a series of significant revolutions. So whether that be the French Revolution or the American Revolution at a political level, or the Industrial Revolution of the 18 and 1900s at an economic and commercial level, or the digital revolution that we're living through right now, that we're witnessing in real time right now, what some people call the fourth and the fifth industrial revolution, but it is nothing short of a revolution. And in this respect, it's a movement. Well, of course, I'm going to challenge us tonight with this idea from revelation to revolution, because all revolutions start with a revelation. And we'll say it again, all revolutions start with somebody's revelation. But the person who received that revelation had the courage and the conviction to begin releasing their revelation. And see, if we can develop the courage and the conviction to release our revelation, perhaps we will start a revolution that comes to characterize and define the platforms upon which our children's children will stand tall. And so a really important session tonight. I'm going to lock us into the hour. But here goes. I'll kick off with some context for the concept. We'll look at some definitions. I'll talk about disruptions and innovations, how it works, aim then fire, brand toll, bottled water, the echo chamber, and your fast track. Yep, so I deliberately worded the outline that way so that you wouldn't really know what I was going to talk about, but so that you would know that there's a method to my madness at times. So some context for the concept. We live in an age of technical, commercial, and philosophical revolutions. We are witnessing them in real time. They are happening around us now. Technical revolutions are redefining how industry works, how institutions work, how society works in the public sector, the private sector, the voluntary sector. New disruptive technologies have become nothing short of a revolution. There are commercial revolutions and philosophical revolutions, huge philosophical revolutions, and they are happening in real time. We are witnessing them. We are often unaware that we are witnessing in real time a full-blown revolution. And the reason why we are in an age of technical, commercial, and philosophical revolutions is that individuals are no longer at the mercy of institutions, right? Individuals are no longer at the mercy of institutions. What do I mean by that? I mean that years ago, if you were an artist and you could really sing really well, or you could write songs, or you were an author and you had a great book and a great idea, You were at the mercy of production companies and publishing houses who would decide whether or not your product, your service, your idea, your invention was marketable, and whether or not they were going to partner with you to blow you up, because they had the means of distribution, they had the means of production, and you had to literally sell your intellectual property to them. Right, you had to sell your book to the publisher. You had to sell your songs to the producers, to the record labels. You had to sell your intellectual property to them. They'd give you a royalty, perhaps in advance, which you'd have to pay back from royalties, and you were at their mercy. But today, individuals are no longer at the mercy of institutions. Thanks to technology and the unprecedented ability that we have to broadcast ourselves on multiple platforms, so that individuals can now produce their music or works of art, they can publish them, they can distribute them, and they can do all of this from the comfort of their home, using a laptop, and in some cases, a phone. People can create their own news channels, become self-appointed journalists, propagate messages all over the world, attract millions of followers and views. And because we are in this age where individuals are no longer at the mercy of institutions, we are witnessing real-time revolutions that are technical, commercial, and philosophical in nature. So this session is about how to start your own revolution, how to start your own revolution within a specific niche. So we're not really talking about changing the world, but we are talking about change in a world. And it's the world that you're assigned to, the world that you're called to, the world in which you have experience and expertise, the world in which you have empathy. You can relate to how people are feeling and what they're going through. Your world, your niche, okay? And I'm speaking to entrepreneurs. So within your market sector, within your industry, within your field, this session is about how you start your own revolution in that field. The fact is that all revolutions begin with ideas. They all begin with ideas. And those ideas become deeply held beliefs. They start off as ideas, but then they become deeply held beliefs by a significant group, not necessarily a sizable group, but a significant group. Why do I say not necessarily a sizable group? Because Jesus started his revolution with 12 men. What? Yeah, he started his revolution with a significant, although not sizable group. And they were significant because they would grow to deeply hold the beliefs and the ideas that he shared. And, you know, through the principle of multiplication, this now became a sizable movement. But movements are first significant before they are sizable. Wow, I wish I had my sound effects, because that was a moment that someone needs to document in the chat box. Movements are first significant before they are sizable. So a lot of people get discouraged when they first start releasing their revelation and putting out their ideas and putting out their thoughts. They get discouraged because they feel like, well, there's not lots and lots of people, thousands and millions of people following me. They're following the entertainers. They're following the comedians. They're following the artists. But they're not following me. It's okay. Jesus spent 3 years. And at the end of 3 years, there were 120 people committed to his idea. 120 people committed to his idea. Of the 12, one fell out. Okay, so the Jesus movement was significant before it was sizable. And what we want is ideas that become deeply held beliefs by a significant group. And those ideas start with a revelation. Now, I want us to define revelation. So here's some definitions. Your revelation is your unique understanding of an issue. Remember that your revelation is your unique understanding of an issue. See, you have understanding of particular issues that are quite unique because they're coming from your personal experience. They're coming from perhaps your education. They're coming from your expertise, right? They're coming from your perspective. So you have a unique understanding of an issue. Now, it may be a health-related issue, maybe a health-related issue like weight loss or managing diabetes or dealing with arthritis or alopecia. You have a unique understanding of that issue. Could be a wealth-related issue. You may know how people can save on their taxes. You may see the tax code in ways that other people do not because you have a unique understanding of that issue. You may be an investor, right? And you may invest in currencies, right? Or, you may trade in currencies, you may trade in crypto, you may invest in real estate, but your unique understanding of that issue is your revelation. It could be a faith-related issue, and it could also be a relationship-related issue, but your unique understanding of the issue is your revelation. I've also said here it's a disruptive idea. Now, I'm going to break down what I mean by disruptive and disruption, because disruption in business simply means innovation. It's an idea that's new, and it's so good that it makes the old idea obsolete. It's disruptive because everything has to change because of this new idea, because of this new method, because of a new technology. So your revelation is your unique understanding of the issue. It's your disruptive idea, and it's usually based on your personal experience, right? So if it's health related, it's typically based on your personal experience that you've personally been through that health crisis, or you're managing that health issue, or someone near and dear to you is managing that issue. It's your personal experience. It's your expertise. It's what you are good at. It's your education, what you've been trained in, and your empathy. It's a very, very important E here for determining your area of excellence, right? Empathy is your ability to relate to how people are feeling, right? So if your revelation, is in the area of wealth creation, and you understand the frustration of entrepreneurs who are stuck, or whose businesses are failing, or who are unable to break through certain barriers. Maybe it's the $10,000 a month barrier, the $100,000 a month barrier, the $1 million a month barrier. You actually understand what that feels like. You can relate to them. You are typically in possession of a revelation that could start a revolution if you develop the courage and the conviction to start releasing your revelation. Someone need to be screaming in the chat box right now, because I know that I'm having a good time. So I guess the big question here is, how can you convert your life lessons into someone else's lifeline? Because guess what? God ordained that life would teach you a very powerful set of lessons, a series of lessons, a unique set of lessons. God ordained that life would teach this to you. Now, and your experiences are life lessons, right? It's not what you went through that makes you wise. It's the conclusions you reached as a result of the things you've been through. These are your life lessons. They are your learnings from life. Now, if what you've learned from life can become a lifeline to someone else, then you are in possession of a revelation that can start a revolution. So I'm going to say that again. If you can convert what life has taught you about a particular issue into a lifeline for someone else, then you are in possession of a revelation that can cause a revolution. like the Industrial Revolution, the digital revolution, so many other revolutions in history. And I like this picture of the lifeline because it suggests that someone is sinking and someone will drown without that line. And there are people right now who are sinking, who are drowning, who are struggling with things that you have survived. They are blocked by barriers that you have already broken through. And the temptation is to assume that, well, everyone knows what to do. Everyone knows how to do, but everyone doesn't. Some people are sinking unless you can convert your life lessons into a lifeline. And as I say, it may be a health-related issue. It may be a wealth-related issue, maybe a faith-related issue, maybe a relationship-related issue. All right? But someone's sinking without your lifeline. Now, the second thing I want to define is disruption, because I think I've defined what your revelation is, right? Your unique understanding of an issue, your disruptive idea, your life lessons converted into a lifeline. But now let's look at what disruption means. So disruption is really a game changer, right? So when we think of disruption, when we first hear the word, we think of something very negative. We think of something very destructive. We think of devastation. But in business, disruption is simply a game changer, something that changes the game. It's a new model, a new business model, a new method, a new way of doing things, a new mechanism, let's say a new piece of technology or a tool, a new technology that makes the old one obsolete. So what do I mean by that? I mean that Airbnb was disruptive, right? For realtors and estate agents, and for hotels and for many other industries, because the technology made it possible for consumers, for buyers to communicate directly with sellers, cut out the middleman. We see this with Amazon, and of course the pandemic and the lockdowns kind of forced us into the digital age, and a lot of people are happy there now, right? They do all the shopping online, they order stuff to their door. That's what they do, right? That was disruptive. And there are many other examples of disruptive technology or disruptive business models that simply make the old ones obsolete. Now, I'm old enough to remember audio cassette tapes, okay? Well, audio cassette tapes were replaced by CDs, and CDs by MP3s, and MP3s by streaming. With each new technology, it made the old one obsolete, right? Uber has had that effect on cabs. That's what disruption means in business. It's a game changer. So when I talk about your revolution, I'm really speaking about your ability to change the game with your revolution, not for everyone, but for the people to whom you have been assigned, right? To your people. The only people that matter in business are your people, right? Everyone doesn't matter. What matters is your people. And who are your people? They are the people related to you, right? They're the people that you can relate to by experience or by aspiration. They are your people. So a revolution is a regime change, right? It's a political, commercial, cultural, or religious taking over. And in business, it's called disruption. And the other way to think of disruption or revolution is innovation, right? Great word, big word in business, innovation. But what drives innovation? It's human nature. Human nature drives innovation. In other words, we're never going to settle, right? No matter how good something is, we're never going to settle, because it's in our nature to be constantly reaching upwards and onwards and forwards. And we have this insatiable appetite for more. And novelties wear off. I promise you, if you get the car of your dreams, the novelty will wear off after maybe a few months, for some people, a few years, for some people, a few days. And that appetite is there again. It's part of our human nature. We ultimately want more for less. Yeah, we do. Let's just admit it. We want more for less. That's why Uber had a chance. That's why Amazon had a chance. That's why Airbnb had a chance. That's why the CD had a chance. That's why the streaming has had a chance. Didn't matter how many people were there before. It didn't matter what was already going on, what was established. They had a chance because human nature, we want more for less. We want more for less time, less money, less effort. We want results from the road of least resistance. We want meaningful results in the quickest possible time, least possible effort, and cheapest possible price. And that's why innovation is the endless supply of improvements. Because if you want, my definition for innovation, it's improvement. It's an improvement. And apparently, just a 10% improvement on an existing product or service. One of my mentors taught me, he said, look, if you can improve on a product or service by just 10%, right? He said the market will receive it as a new product and a new service. Just a 10% improvement. It becomes a new product, a new service. Now, I first saw this with detergent or washing powder. Some of you may remember washing powder, right? And we had these big brands of washing powder, Daz and Bold and Ariel. And guess what? Daz, Bold, and Ariel was working just fine until they came out with new Daz, new Bold, new Ariel. Then they'd come out with new and improved Daz, Bold, and Ariel. Keep coming up with these never-ending improvements, right? And the Japanese call this Kaizen. Kaizen is the word is Kaizen. It means never-ending improvement, right? So you constantly look for ways to improve. So if an existing product or service is in the market, great. If you can figure out a way to do it better, to do it faster, to do it cheaper, to create less hassle, and you can make it a significant change by as much as 10%, the market will receive it as a new product, just like cars, right? So every year there's a new model, the same car, new model. And the same people who bought the old one 2 years later, they want the new one, the new and improved one, because the dashboard is different and the leather is different and the shape of the bonnet is different and the trunk is different. Minor improvements are received as a new product or service. And when it comes to innovations or making improvements, well, there are product innovations, right? So you can actually improve on the product itself. There are process innovations, so you can improve on the process. So for example, Amazon isn't really a product innovation, it's a process innovation. Okay. And then there are price innovations. If you cut out the middleman, you can bring the price down. And then there are promise innovations in terms of how we market our services. So how does it work? Because I told you that tonight I'm going to turn a corner and I'm going to start to show you how to turn how to start a movement, how to turn your message into a movement, how to turn your revelation into a revolution. And I'm going to give you a 4-part plan. And if you're excited that I've turned the corner and I'm going to tell you exactly how, then I want you to shout your amens in that chat box and let me know that you're excited that I'm actually going to give you the how to. How do you turn your ideas into real influence? How do you turn your revelation into revolution? How do you turn your message into a movement? How do you do that? You do it in 4 steps. Let's go. That's right. I see the chat box lighting up. Let's go. Woo! So step number 1. Step number 1, very important step. It's called aim before you fire. Aim before you fire. Now, there are a lot of people who are firing right now. They are firing and then trying to take aim. But actually, you need to aim before you fire. Now, in my coaching program for my actual clientele that I coach, I teach them that marketing is really targeting. That every time you see the word marketing, think targeting, replace it with targeting. Because the more you think of marketing as targeting, is the more you're going to understand what is the real essence of marketing. A lot of people confuse marketing with sales. Marketing is not sales. It may involve some selling, but it's not really sales. Sales and marketing are two different disciplines, right? If you're marketing effectively, then what you are doing is you are targeting the people who would most benefit from your offer, who would most value your offer, who can afford your offer, and who are already looking for your offer. It's the ability to target. So marketing is targeting. So here's the point. You are assigned to a specific audience, not to the whole world. Okay? Your target audience is your field of favor and place of purpose. Now, when I'm doing this in a spiritual context, I talk about your Garden of Eden, where God placed you in a field of favor and in a place of purpose. In business, your field of favor and your place of purpose is your target audience. And so aim before you fire means this: you should first seek to identify and then to locate those people that qualify as perfect prospects for you. Identify. So a lot of people are not clear about who they're trying to reach. They're clear about what they have to sell. They're clear about what they want to say. They're clear about what they have, but they're not clear about who would benefit most from it. They're not clear about who's specifically looking for it. They're not clear about who is most likely to value it. And so they are basically selling to the wrong people. They're speaking to the wrong audience, and it feels like there's no effect, that it's not effective because it is not effective because they're speaking to the wrong people. So that's where a bit of market research comes in, and a couple of coaching techniques that help you to identify or define your perfect prospects and to locate them, to know where they are, so that you are actually marketing in the right places with the right message to the right people using the right medium. That's number one reason why a lot of people's revelation never becomes a revolution, because even if they say, I'm going to release my revelation, you're just releasing it into the atmosphere. You're just releasing it into the air. You're not speaking to the right people because you don't know how to target the right people. And there are tools and there are techniques that help you with targeting, right? So watch this. Step number 2. You must establish your authority in this field by branding tall. Wow, I love that phrase, branding tall. Did I say standing tall? No, I said branding tall. You must establish your authority in this field. Why? Because there are millions of messages just going around in your field, whatever it is. If it's health related, if it's wealth related, if it's faith related, if it's relationship related, right? Whatever field you're in, okay? There are millions of messages just swirling around people's heads. And there are millions, if not hundreds of thousands of companies and organizations and entrepreneurs that are competing for their attention. And they get on YouTube, they get on TikTok, they get on Instagram, and there's a million messages with a million techniques, right? So if you're going to lose weight and build muscle, you must eat eggs. You mustn't eat eggs. You must eat fat. You mustn't eat fat. You must drink this. You mustn't drink that. You must listen, it's confusing. So you have to brand tall. You have to stand out by establishing your authority in this field. Sometimes we call this establishing preeminence. Sometimes we think of this as establishing your credibility. But here's what branding tall means. It means that you must become credible and visible in your field. Credible, right? Because a lot of not credible voices. You want to become a credible voice. And you can do this through a book, right? If you write your own signature book, right? A book that establishes your authority, your credibility in the field, a course, a signature course that you create, or a podcast that you host, they can all serve to establish your credibility in this field, to give you authority in this field so that you're branding tall. Now, of course, it sounds frightening to people. I got to write a book. I got to start a podcast. I've got to build a course. I don't know how to do that. Have no fear. That's why people like me is here, right? So watch this. This turns the curious into the serious. This turns buyers into believers, right? Because there's some people who are just going to buy something from you because they need it right now. I'm just going to buy it as cheaply as I can, see if it works. But you know what happens when you're branding tall? You don't just attract buyers, you actually attract believers. And these people actually believe in your idea, your health-related idea, your wealth-related idea, your faith-related idea, your relationship-related idea. They believe in it because you're branding tall. You're constantly building your credibility. And it builds you a following and a fan base. So, yes, you must be targeting the right people, and then you must brand tall, right? You must establish your authority. You must become credible and visible in that field. Now, here's the third step, really important step, right? You must pour your water into bottles, right? Pour your water into bottles. Now, what does that mean, right? It means that your content has to be put into containers so we can consume it. Like, I can't consume your content if you don't put it into a container. And in this respect, I think of your content as your water. Your water. What is your water? Well, it's an acronym, and it stands for wisdom, advice, training, expertise, and revelation. So you may have the wisdom I need because I've got a few health-related issues that I manage, right? But you may have the wisdom that I need in that particular area, okay? You may have the advice that I need that would change my life. You may be able to teach me something that would absolutely change my life. You may be the expert. You may have revelation, a unique understanding of the issue, even an innovation and a disruptive idea that could bring about breakthrough and transformation for me. But so long as it's in your head, right, it cannot help me. You have to pour that water into bottles. You have to put your content into containers so I can consume it, right? You can't just give me water. The content has to be put in a container. So what are the containers for wisdom, advice, training, expertise, revelation? Well, see, your bottles are your content containers, and that includes books, courses, webinars, posts, channels, podcasts, all of these. Like right now, I am pouring my water into a bottle. Why? Because I've organized this webinar, I'm teaching this webinar, I'm recording this webinar, and what this ultimately means is that that it's contained, right? I've trapped it, okay? And down the road, I can make it available to others. There are a lot of people registered for this webinar that can't actually attend it in person like you are. But you know what? I'm pouring my water into bottles. When I do a masterclass, I'm putting my water into bottles. When I write books, and I've written over 30 books, I'm putting my water into bottles. When I design a coaching program, I'm putting my water into bottles. If I deliver, a mastermind, I'm putting my I'm putting my water into bottles so that people don't die of thirst who need my wisdom, advice, training, expertise, and revelation. So you must not simply have great ideas. You have to put them into things that other people can purchase. You have to put them into things so other people can carry them away. You have to put your revelation into stuff, right? And again, this is very daunting for some people. They're like, gosh, I can't do all that stuff. So let's get the I can't completely out of your vocabulary entirely, right? Because the truth is that you can. And not only can you, but in the modern world, with the technology that's available to this generation, you can do it much quicker, much cheaper, much faster than ever before. You have no excuse for not having a book that has wisdom in it and advice in it. You have no excuse for not having a course that has your wisdom and advice in it, because it exists to take the strain and the pressure out of it. These are the things that I teach my people in my own coaching programs. So here goes. Number 4, and this is the big one. If your revelation is to become a revolution, you must amplify your voice with a succession strategy. Amplify your voice with a succession strategy. So what this means is that you must trigger a word of mouth and content sharing strategy till your message goes viral. Because guess what? In this world right now, people don't really believe what you say about yourself. They believe what others say about you. That's the nature of the world that we're in. We don't tend to believe what people say about themselves. We don't believe glossy brochures. We don't believe websites. We don't believe, we don't believe it. Okay? Nice business card, so what? Beautiful website, so what? Glossy brochure, so what? What we do believe is what others say about you, right? What others experience is with you. So there's certain restaurants that have gone viral. You know why they've gone viral? Because people have such an amazing experience in that restaurant. They go away, they tell their family, friends, and neighbors and networks, this is where we ate. It was incredible. Atmosphere was great. Music was great. Ambiance was great. Food was fantastic. Service was brilliant. It was so entertaining. It was so much more than a meal. Loved it. Can't wait to go back. People hear you saying that, and well, I'm going to check out that restaurant too. And then before you know it, that restaurant becomes a little revolution, and it becomes a movement that people go there at least once a month or once a week in some cases every day, because of it's gone viral, because the voice has been amplified, or there are echoes, other people screaming about what you do. And so what most of us do is we hope for that. We think, okay, well, hopefully, if people really like what I'm doing, they will talk about it. No, you need to build your business in such a way that you factor in incentives for people to talk about what you do. So there are several kind of strategies that you can employ depending on what kind of movement and business you have, but it could be a loyalty program, could be referral schemes. You might have an affiliate program that allows people to earn every time that you earn. You may develop a membership or a community around your concept. And there are many other things that you can do. But these are succession strategies. Why? Because it means that eventually you're not the only one screaming about this. And I want you to notice, from the ultimate entrepreneur, Jesus, notice he spent 3 years talking about the kingdom. But because of his succession strategy, he knew that it was going to increase exponentially when the others were talking about the kingdom. So, it wasn't just him screaming about the kingdom, right? You've got the 12. You've got the 120 at Pentecost. And it keeps on expanding because others are talking about their experience with Christ and his kingdom. The reality is that we shouldn't simply, when we see something going viral, we think, oh, it just happened accidentally, like it just, or it's just, you know, people just like it for some reason and they just talk about it for some reason. That's not really what's happening at a business level. At a business level, there is a campaign at work that creates enough incentive for enough people to get on board. And that's your significant minority that will eventually become a sizable majority. Remember, it's not the sizable crowd. It's the significant crowd that starts the revolution, right? It's not, whichever revolution it was in history, it wasn't that everyone started with it. That was just a significant group of core believers who held these beliefs and ideas deeply, who were committed to sharing it with others, who were committed to sharing it with others, who were committed to sharing it with others. That's how it went viral. Things go viral when other people share them. And so instead of just hoping for this to happen, you have to actually create a strategy. You have to embed a strategy for making it happen. And that's one of the beautiful things about my elite coaching system. Now, I know you've been blessed with the teaching, and it would be crazy to sign off now just because I'm going to talk about my system, because I'm going to talk about my system because I have to talk about my system because I love it. But not only must I talk about it, right? I don't charge for webinars. You know what the fee on the webinar is? Just listen to me for 5 minutes talk about my system. That's it. Okay. And then you're welcome to just keep coming back as often as you want. So thanks for staying on board. Now watch this. So this year, I'm taking a group of people on a journey that will transform the rest of their life, both personally and professionally, definitely psychologically, and in terms and financially, 100 total transformation. Because everything that I know and really understand about aiming before you fire, about branding tall, about putting your water into bottles, about how to amplify your voice, I'm going to teach it to my inner circle. Wow and wow. Well, look, I know that session was a blessing to you, particularly to those of you who watched it from the beginning right through to the end. And if you haven't seen it all, please go back through it, because that session is loaded with lessons and packed with principles, and is going to enable you to maximize your moment at this critical junction in human history. Now, I want to speak to those of you that are serious, because I guess there's a lot of people who are curious. But if you are serious about making a mark that will never be erased, if you are serious about building platforms upon which your children's children can stand tall, if you are serious about changing your economic status or about changing your financial trajectory for your bloodline for generations to come, then I'm inviting you to join me at a very special masterclass. And it is the thought leadership formula, in which I am going to show you how to turn your ideas into assets. Okay. And it's going to be a how-to, it's going to be actionable, it's going to be practical. And that's why there's a ticket on it, because it is 3 hours of elite training with me. In addition to that, we're throwing in some amazing bonuses, some additional courses to help you to get started. So look, there is a link in the description. Go to the page and secure your seat at the Thought Leadership Formula with me, your host, Bishop Wayne Malcolm. Now look, before you go, watch these ads. They're important because one of these ads is about the New Breed community. and that is our private community of kingdom-conscious entrepreneurs, professionals, influencers, and creators, and it's completely free to join if you meet that criteria. There you're going to meet hundreds of fellow believers who embrace the gospel of the kingdom, who are entrepreneurs, they're professionals, influencers, and creators, and they're from all over the world. And we are there connecting, sharing, learning, and growing. One of the reasons why you want to join the community is because all these private webinars that we host on the Zoom platform, guess what? We post the replays for members of our community. So don't miss this. Take advantage of it. This is your time, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.
Hey there, entrepreneurs! If you enjoy the teachings of Bishop Wayne Malcolm, I've got something amazing for you. Introducing the New Breed Community, an exclusive online platform for kingdom-conscious entrepreneurs, professionals, investors, and creators. This isn't just a community, it's a movement where we discuss and explore kingdom concepts. Here, kingdom-minded people connect, share, learn, and grow together. Inside, you'll find exclusive content from Bishop Wayne Malcolm, including special sessions just for members. And the best part? It's free to join. The New Breed Community sits on the Heartbeat platform, where Bishop Wayne Malcolm is excited to meet you online. Join us for weekly Q&A sessions with Bishop Wayne and get exclusive insights that can transform your life. Love to read? Join our book club to feed your mind and spirit. Got a prayer request? Post it and let's lift each other up. Have a testimony? Share how God's goodness is shining in your life. We're more than just a community, we're a movement. Discover the powerful relationship between your profession and your purpose. Join us now on the Heartbeat platform. Connect with us and let's grow together. Bishop Wayne Malcolm and the New Breed Community are waiting for you. So what are you waiting for? Hit that join button and step into a world of connection and growth. A warm welcome awaits you. See you on the inside.
Yo, it's time to rise, wake up from your sleep. Bishop Wayne's got the guidance, the wisdom runs deep. Subscribe and like, let's spread this truth loud. Comment, share it wide, let's stand tall, be proud. Kingdom coaching, we got the plan. Success principles, grab a hold and take a stand. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Bishop Wayne's teaching, we're climbing the stair. In the kingdom of hopes, together we'll thrive. With biblical truths, we'll keep dreams alive.